All right, you guys, we're about to get started. It is 7:59, so I'm not going to hold you long, but let's get into this topic. I am excited for the topic for tonight, so let's do it. And if you can hear, I'm having, is it Tevin Campbell playing in the background? Shh. Y'all know that song. All right, I'm gonna give it a second or two, and then we're going to jump in and get started, okay? Okay, what are we doing? All right, it is 8 o'clock and we are ready to get started. So, good evening, everybody. I'm your host, Gina Cherie, and welcome to G Spot After Dark on WGSL 104.7, where we talk about what turns us on mentally, emotionally, and intimately. So, we have a great topic for tonight. I'm not going to hold you long. It's going to be about maybe 30 minutes, depending how long it takes us to get through some of the emails, okay? So tonight's topic, this is not about shock. This is not about performance. This is about desire. And every person on this earth has a desire, okay? Whether big or small, everyone has one. The kind you feel in your body, but you hold it in your throat, right? You're afraid to speak or to share it with your partner, okay? So we're gonna go through a couple of them tonight. We do have some emails that we're able to get in. We got about 5 today, so that's a great start. So tonight's question is simple, but it is a powerful one. What's the unspoken sexual desire that lives just beneath the surface between you and your partner? Okay. This one you think about, but don't say it out loud for whatever reason. Okay. So we're going to talk about this for about 30 minutes tonight, followed with some emails. Okay. So let's jump right into this. Most people don't stay quiet because they like desire. Because, like I said, everybody has a desire, right? Big or small. They stay quiet because they don't want to hurt the person that they love, right? Unspoken sexual desires often live in certain glances, pauses that we give, moments that linger, things you hope your partner just knows. And that last one we're going to go over because I already pre-read some of the emails, and things you hope your partner just knows just doesn't make sense, and we'll cover that, okay? Silence feels safer than vulnerability. I am one of those that do not like to be vulnerable, and I try to avoid it at all costs, right? Yeah, still got things to work on, right? But silence doesn't protect intimacy, it slows it down, right? And that's where that desire continues to linger. Desire ignored doesn't disappear, okay? It waits, it kind of lays dormant, and sometimes it fades into distance, okay? So tonight we are going to wake some of these desires up. If you guys have a desire that you are not afraid to share, you guys can do that while you guys are live with me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Mary, Belle, Luna, thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys are more than welcome to join the conversation while you guys are here on live, right? And go too somebody that we live too. All right. Let's normalize a few things really quickly, okay? Here are some very common sexual desires, big or small, Couples feel but rarely say out loud. If you guys want to add something there, write that in the comment as well too, okay? Wanting to feel desired, not just accommodated, okay? Wanting your partner to initiate more, okay? Wanting passion instead of being predictable. Wanting to feel sexy again, not just loved, okay? Wanting verbal affirmations during intimacy. I'm gonna need you to start talking to each other. If it feels good, I need you guys to tell each other it feels good, right? Wanting to explore curiosity without judgment. Okay, so I know there are plenty of people, because I have had plenty of conversation, that they have a sexual desire that they want to explore, a curiosity that's been lingering, and they're just too afraid to open up, whether they feel that they're going to be judged or seen differently, whatever the case may be. So hopefully at the end of this segment, you guys will have a little bit more of us feeling safe to share things with your partner, okay? Because none of these mean something is wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you're crazy. This just means that something inside of you is alive and it's ready for it to come out. So welcome everybody, welcome. My name is Gina Cherie. I am your life coach and your host of the G-Spot After Dark. And we are discussing unspoken desires that you may be afraid to open up and talk to your partner about. Like I said, I'm not going to hold you guys very long, but thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys are tuning in and staying with me, go ahead and let me know where you guys are tuning in from, so I have an idea. I kind of want to see how far this reaches, right? All right, so if something I just said made you shift in your seat or think about your partner or realize you've been quiet longer than you meant to, then you are definitely where you need to be. And to remember that you are not broken, you are human, and every human has a desire. This is the G-Spot After Dark, where we don't shame desire, we give it room to speak, okay? And if you want to share anonymously, you can always email me at host Gina Cherie. That is host GINASHERRIE, Cherie at gmail.com. So I will tell you guys all my social media handles and everything at the end, okay? All right, so now we're going to go into, because this is supposed to be the longest part of the segment, is doing some emails, okay? So I got about 5 of them in, okay? So we're gonna go run through that, and then we're gonna kind of give some feedback, okay? As I read and as I give feedback on these, like I said, I already pre-read them, but if you guys want to add anything, go ahead and do that in the comments, or if you decide you want to do it later on, you can do that too. Hello, Poochie, and Calvin, thank you guys for joining in. Welcome to the G-Spot After Dark. I am your host, Gina Cherie. Okay, so the first email that I want to read, it says, I love my partner deeply, but my unspoken sexual desire is to feel wanted without having to ask. I want them to reach for me first, to look at me like they can't help themselves. I'm afraid if I say this out loud, it will sound like I'm complaining instead of craving. Okay. What you're describing isn't a complaint to me. It's a longing. It's something that you've been longing and wanting for quite some time. It sounds like you guys have been together for some years, and the passion is lacking, or it just dissolved, and now you're trying to figure out a way how to get back to that passion, okay? Wanting to be desired isn't an insecurity, okay? I think anybody that's in a relationship or marriage, they want to be desired by that partner, right? It's a connection that you're looking for, and I think it's a deeper connection other than just laying down and having sex with your partner. I think you are longing for intimacy, And we are all grown, so we should know by now that intimacy and sex are two different things. And I think that what it sounds like to me is that you're seeking to rekindle that intimacy that you guys once shared, right? So that you guys can have that connection. Because once you have that intimacy and somebody can fuck you with their mind, then everything else for me will fall together, right? But you have to captivate them mentally, and your body will follow, okay? I don't think you're asking for a lot. I don't think you're asking or you're not putting on too much pressure. I think you're just asking to be chosen, okay? So there is a way to go about it. Do not leave them little clues. They're not Cleo. They're not going to just wake up and figure it out. I think you guys need to have a deep conversation. I think you guys need to have a moment to where it's just the two of you, and just start talking and being open with each other and finding yourselves back to that connection that once brought you guys together, okay? Email number 2, more heat, less routine. Okay, so this definitely sounds like you guys been together for quite some time. Anonymously, right? Braces won't let me talk. Our sex life is consistent, but my desire is for more passion. I miss anticipation. I miss being surprised. I don't want my partner to think they're failing, so I stay quiet. But part of me feels like something is missing, okay? You and the first email kind of sound similar, right? Wrote in different words, but pretty much the same thing. Routine is always something that's comfortable for someone, right? You already know the habits, you already know what's going to happen, it's predictable already. But desire needs attention, right? Missing passion doesn't mean you are being ungrateful at any kind. It means your body remembers what excitement felt like. This isn't about replacing what you have, it's about reviving it. So it's pretty much the same thing for the first email. I think you guys are to a point where you guys need to awaken the passion that you once had, right? And find that piece of each other that excited you. And made you want to be with that person, touch that person, whether it was a kiss, whether it's a smell. I know I'm a sucker for a good man's cologne, and that smell just kind of lingers, and it like awakens everything within a person, right? I will follow everybody at the end, you guys, okay? So I think that just reviving what you guys once had, and doing it now rather than later. I think you guys need to take small steps. I don't think it needs to be drastic and you're just jumping in. I think it needs to take baby steps, right? And that reconnection with conversation, reconnect mentally, reconnect emotionally, and find that passion. Because I feel like if people have been together for a very long time, I feel like the passion changes because the people change. You guys are getting older. You guys might like different things. Like you probably don't like the same thing or the same touch that you like when you were in your 20s or your 30s or your 40s, right? So things progress, and I think your passion needs to progress with the relationship as well. Okay, so carve some time out with you and your partner, and figure out a way to spark this conversation. Hard conversations are hard to have, right? But I think it's necessary, right? If you love and value that person, and hopefully that both of you have a safe space. This is not just a safe space for women. I think men need to feel like they have a safe space as well. And I also feel as if things that we as women are asking for from our partner, we need to be able to give that as well, because men want to be desired too. They want to feel like they are sexy and like you find them sexy, right? They want that touch. you just walk past them and just rub your hand through their beard. It's very simple, right? So men want to be desired, and they want to feel that they're wanted by you too. Okay, so always keep that in mind. Anything that we're asking from our partner, we need to be able to give to our partner, right? All right, so email number 3, afraid to ask for what I like. Okay, I have a specific thing I enjoy sexually, but I've never said them out loud. I worry my partner will feel insecure or judged. So instead, I stay quiet and hope they figure it out. Email 3, to hope till they figure out. Good luck. I think this is definitely a woman writing this email. If we're waiting for our men to figure it out, baby girl, they're not Cleo, and they're not just going to wake up and have an epiphany and it's going to be right there, right? And sometimes we need to understand that men are not complicated. They're very simple. And you need to learn how to communicate, not just with a body language, but with your words. And there's different ways for you guys to do that, okay? I think on a different episode, I am going to break down some of the ways that you can communicate with your partner to open up and to feel comfortable enough to share your desires with them, right? But I think you're going to do more damage by waiting around hoping they figure it out. And I say that because I feel like you are going to be waiting and waiting and waiting, and you're going to set your own self up for failure if you're just waiting around for them to figure it out without giving them a chance to hear you out and hear what your desires are, right? At least give them that opportunity to have a conversation with them and go from there. But I think once we put this expectation on our partner, and when they don't meet that expectation, you're very disappointed. But I feel like you are disappointing yourself because you didn't give them a chance. You didn't have a conversation with them. And a conversation can definitely need to be verbally, word for word, but to wait to spark a conversation, you can start by writing a letter, doing something simple, making it into a game or something, but definitely give them that opportunity first before you just wait around and put all these expectations on your partner and set yourself up for failure. That's just my opinion, but if you guys have another opinion, you guys want to chime in, there's my word again, chime in. You guys can definitely do so. DM me only about the show. Email me at hostGinaSherrie, GinaSherrie@gmail.com. And once we're done here, you guys, I'll give you guys the handles again. And for the full show, you guys can head over to Spotify, G Spot After Dark, and then you guys can leave me messages on Spotify. So if you're not following me quite yet, go back and follow me on Spotify too, okay? Let's see. Okay, yeah, that was email number 3. Hope is not a communication, and silence is not your protection, right? You ain't doing nothing by staying quiet and hoping that they figure it out. So your pleasure is not an accusation, it's an invitation. So invite them in, have the conversation, make it an intimate one, no distractions behind you, have something soft playing, if a soft R&B, soft jazz, something just small and intimate, set the mood, right? So that way they can already go into knowing what this conversation might be about, right? And like I said before, don't ask for anything that you cannot give to your partner, okay? So let's keep on going. We're almost down to the last email. I want to feel sexy again. Who doesn't want to feel sexy again, right? My unspoken desire is to feel sexy again, not just love. My partner tells me they care, but I want to feel chosen, desired, pursued. I don't know how to say that without sounding insecure. There's a lot of people feeling insecure, like if they're needing to speak up to their partner. Wanting to feel sexy doesn't mean love isn't enough. Okay. It means you want a desire alongside devotion. So you want them both, and you can have them both, right? Security and passion are not opposite, okay? They are partners when they are nurtured together, okay? So I'm going to say that one more time. Security and passion are not opposite, okay? They are partners when they are nurtured together. So work on combining those. And like for everybody else in the emails before you, communication, right? You got to set up a space where both of you guys can communicate with each other, right? And open communication, right? Don't tell like bits and pieces, like don't give him a little bit and act like he's supposed to reel everything else and put everything else together. I need you to use your big girl, big boy words, and I need you to use full sentences and talk to your partner, right? Okay, so that one went really quickly. Email 5. Curiosity I've never shared. And how many of us have curiosities from the bedroom that we never shared with our partner, right? There's a side of my sexuality I've never shared with my partner. It's not extreme. I'm just curious, but I'm scared that curiosity might change how they see me. First of all, curiosity I've never shared. You sure didn't share with us neither. You could have told me a little bit about what your curiosity is, but nevertheless, thank you for writing in. Curiosity doesn't make you risky, right? I often felt that way with some of the things that I wanted to try, some of my desires, and felt like I was going to be judged for them, or that was going to make me less of who I am, not understanding that I needed to deal with some I need to look more within myself and be more confident with myself, and like understand that everybody has a desire. It might be different, but everybody has one. And if you put like a survey together, that's how I'm going to put it, you'd be amazed how many people have the same desire, right? And for those that do and like tried it and accomplished that desire, kudos to you. So, and move over, because here I come, right? Curiosity doesn't make you risky, it makes you honest. So the right conversation doesn't demand agreement, right? It is asking for understanding. You don't have to reveal everything, because you really didn't reveal nothing to me today. Just enough to stop hiding from yourself, right? I think that you're going to be very disappointed if you continue to hide what you really desire, okay? You said it's not extreme. Well, let me see this. If it wasn't extreme curiosity I've never shared, then why didn't you share it with me when you wrote into this email? So if you are listening unto the sound of my voice, I'm gonna need you to re-email me, and I need you to share one of these curiosities with us, okay? You can still remain anonymous, but want to share. I'm just curious of what your thing is, right? So ask for understanding and put yourself in a position, a safe space. Like I said again, have a conversation. Everything starts with a conversation, and hopefully you feel open enough, or you're working on feeling open enough and safe enough to do some of them. And look, if you are finally to the point where you're able to share those curiosities and they're like, yo, I'm not with it, okay, well then you just know that that's not the right person for you. There's always somebody out there for you that shares and will let you be open with your desires and your curiosities, as long as it's not hurting or damaging other people, right? I will say that, because some of the curiosities, you're gonna go to hell. So if they're damaging or hurting to someone else, then I would never condone stuff like that. So, but if it's safe for you and your partner, then by all means, go ahead and share that and start living the person that you really deep down want to be. Okay. Yeah. We went through 5 emails. That was a lot though. So thank you guys for still. I see a lot of you guys are still connecting with me. I appreciate you guys so much for giving me your time and your attention. So that was all of the emails there. But what I'm hearing tonight through these emails is most unspoken sexual desires aren't about doing more. They're about feeling more and finally getting to a point where you having those safe conversations with your partner, so that you can be more chosen, more connected, and more alive, right? And stop hiding the person that you really want to be. Okay, as long as it's not hurting or damaging to anybody. Okay, I will reiterate that. And sometimes the desire isn't the problem, the silence is. So if you take away anything from tonight's episode, please start having conversation and get to a point where you're comfortable, you feel safe with your partner. Create those intimacy spaces, right? If you are with children, been together for a long time, you need to call a babysitter. And it could be small, you guys can, and don't wait for the man to do it. We can do it too, right? We can show our men that we can create intimacy for them, right? Turn your living room into a safe space. Okay, dim the light, turn some music on your TV or the speaker, something R&B, some jazz or something, and put some palettes on the floor, sprinkle some rose petals, whether they're real or fake, put them on the floor, light some candles, set the mood, put on some lingerie. So sometimes, because one of the emails said they want to feel sexy again, sometimes we cannot wait for that person to make us feel something, right? Like, you already have that within, if my words are making sense. You already got to know and feel that you're sexy, right? In order for that person to think that you're sexy, right? Because if you're walking around when those insecurities, low self-esteem, and you're making body shaming yourself or doing all those crazy things that you have in our head, and sometimes we do have those, right? That person, your partner is not going to be able to help you feel a different way, because what you're feeling is right in here, because it all starts in your mind, right? If you know in your head, and you feel in your head that you're smart, you're sexy, you're desirable, you're going to project that out, if my words are making sense, right? So a lot of times, some of the things that we're afraid of, some of the insecurities that we're harboring, are things that we have to work on within and with our own mind, with our own selves. Okay, so I gave you guys a tidbit of something that you guys can do to create an intimate space so that you guys have the conversation with your partner. So I hope everything that I said made sense. I hope that the message did get across. Okay, here is what else I want you to sit with tonight. The desires you don't speak doesn't disappear. It waits for safety, like I mentioned. It waits for trust. It waits for honesty, okay? You don't have to say everything at once. You don't have to turn a whole book into a 30-minute segment, right? But you do deserve to stop pretending you don't want more, okay? And hiding from yourself, okay? And you can never know. That desire that you're holding on to, your partner may want the same thing, right? You never know until you open up and start having conversation, right? So there it is, all in a nutshell, you guys. This has been the G-Spot After Dark on WGSL 104.7, where desire meets truth and silence meets permission. Follow me on Instagram at G-Spot After Dark, and you have something that you have never said out loud, you can email me at hostginacherie@gmail.com. You can say anonymous if you would like. If you want me to say your name, say where you're from, you can give me permission in the email, okay? You can also follow the show on Spotify and iHeartRadio, G-Spot After Dark, okay? You can DM me as well. Only DM me about the show, not about anything else. Only the show. Okay. That's it, you guys. Until next time, stay open, stay honest, and stay connected. I'm your host, Gina Cherie, and this is G-Spot After Dark.